Hey, tubies! This is Psychic Bob. Whew, it is so awesome to be back with you. Well, here we are. It is Saturday night. And it's been a little while since we've gathered and had our Saturday night seance. So I want you to pull up your chairs here. Welcome to my virtual living room. We're going to see what the Spirit has tonight. I want to say thank you to all of you who've been coming out to my recent videos. Yesterday we did a video on how to set up your altar for Mabon, and I talked about the Sabbath. That's a Wiccan Sabbath we got coming up next week. And we're going to have more about Mabon next week as well. But if you want to start to get into the Spirit, you need to pop over and see that video. That's the video in the queue right before this one. It was yesterday's video. And so make sure to see that and get your altar set up, okay? Well, here we are at Saturday night, and luckily we are able to do the Saturday night seance. Like I always said, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Anyways, for those of you who are new, and by the way, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. We've been having a lot of new people join this last few weeks, and welcome to Spirit Channel. I haven't been able to personally write to every single subscriber. I'm getting a lot, but I do read and get the notices, and I want to thank you for being part of Spirit Channel. Well, for those of you who are new here, you may not be familiar with our Saturday night tradition. Every week on Saturday, well, almost every week, depending on what's happening, but we try to make it weekly. We gather here on Saturday night, and we have an old-time seance. I came out of the spiritualist church tradition, and this is something that many spiritualists used to do. It's not done as much anymore, but it still happens. It's usually on a Saturday night, people gather at a medium's home, and they all sit in a circle, and a medium goes into trance, and spirits come through. This is commonly known as trance channeling or trance mediumship. And I happen to be a trance medium. So I thought for those of you who have never had a chance to sit in on an old style seance, we'd start that tradition here. And so now we have, and a lot of you come every week and say how much you enjoy it. And I enjoy you being here. So all you got to do is sit back and relax. Let's gather our chairs in a circle here. I'm going to go into trance. Now, just for those of you who are new, when I'm in trance, spirits overshadow my consciousness, and they speak through me. I don't necessarily know what's going on. I'm kind of half asleep. Occasionally I'll hear a little bit of it, but it's kind of like when you're lying on the sofa, falling asleep, and you're watching a movie. You kind of hear stuff going on, but you're not really connected. That's what it's like for me. I mean, every medium is probably different, but that's how I experience it. So not to worry, I'm not in any pain or distress. I'm very relaxed. So pull up your chairs. I'm going to go into trance, so I'll see you when I get back. Oh, greetings. This is Fletcher. So good to be back with you tonight. Well, our medium's vibration's very high, and I think we're going to have a good night here. So glad that all of you have joined us. Well, I'll be stepping from the body. We got a few others who want to talk tonight. This is Fletcher signing out. Greetings, my dears. This is Rose. It is so wonderful to be here with all of you. Might I say that the soul is illuminated brilliantly. As I look upon the earth, so many of you are shining like beacons of light. All of us in the spirit world are most pleased with your progress. Some of you tonight are feeling down. You're saying, Rose, I had such high ambitions for the day, and yet I've somehow fallen backwards and become hostile and negative, and I fear that I've lost my spiritual connection. My dears, the very fact that you're worried that you've lost your connection is truly a sign that you have not lost your connection. Those souls who do not care about God, those who truly lose their connection, never once pause to reflect upon if their soul is in alignment with their higher selves, if they are in alignment with the higher power. The very fact that you worry about it and that you even say, Rose, help me, means that you're very close to being in alignment with your higher self. Do not be so harsh on yourselves. As humans, you're often, how shall I say, you're challenged by the material world. The vibration in the earth sphere is very, very dense. And this is why that you oftentimes forget to reach out for the higher power. The human body and the mind of the human is very enmeshed in material reality. Material reality is the opposite of spiritual reality. But when we say opposite, we do not mean that it is the enemy of spirituality. No, it's just simply a different vibration. Being on the earth is not meant to be some torture for the soul. It is not an exile from God, as some religions would have you believe. Earthly life is simply a different vibratory experience that is granted to a soul in order that they may experience other realities, in order to test their will, to test their knowledge, to test their resolve to grow in the light. The earth is very much a classroom. When I first arrived in the spirit world, I came to understand very quickly that all of my earthly sojourn was a class. The thing is that I did not do so well in that class. But even so, I was given an opportunity for, how shall we say, remedial education. And now, you see, I'm able to be in the light and bring the light to others. But my dears, you do not have to die to have the experience of the light. You only have to say, I want the light in my life. I want the presence of the Spirit. Over here in our world, there are many of us who gather every day looking for an opportunity to impart a little wisdom, an opportunity to be of service to humankind. You and the earth are looked upon by us as great heroes. It takes a lot of bravery to leave the realm of light to go into the realm of darkness. In many ways, the earth is a realm of darkness in comparison to the spirit world. The spirit world is self-luminous. Everything here radiates and reflects the divine presence of God. But in the earth realm, this light is much dimmer, if at all. And this accounts for why, when you arrive in the earth plane, you forget who you are. It's in a sense amnesia. The veil of forgetfulness is put over your mind. Occasionally that veil slips a little bit, and this accounts for children who say they remember their past lives, or they remember being with God. These children are not daft or a little mad. No, they are simply remembering. We would all do well to remember a little bit more than we do. That veil, though rather thick, does not absolutely obscure all memory of this world, for if it were to do so, you should not have any access to our world. Remember that it is your human free will that allows you to choose to come to the earth, and it is your human free will that allows you to choose how much connection with our world that you would like. Of course, naturally, over here, we're very ambitious and eager for humans to somewhat remove the veil in order that we might get through. So if you're finding yourself in a place where you're saying, I don't feel any connection at all, then simply ask for the veil to be thinned. On the earth, you're entering into that autumnal period. When I was a young girl, we used to celebrate Halloween. This was called All Hallows Eve. It was quite fun. Used to go to dress-up parties, fancy dress, eat lots of candy. It was a very pleasant time. And you know, when I was a child, I would go to these parties, and sometimes there would be a witch there, telling fortunes, reading palms. Oh, and I don't mean just a costumed one, no, my dear. I mean a real witch. And we used to all marvel at her and say, how does she know the future? Well, you know, since coming here to the spirit world, I've realized that it's simply because she chose to have her veil thinned. It is true that on the earth in the autumn time, that the veil between the worlds becomes thinner. And it's a good thing for us spirit guides, for it makes it easier for us to do our jobs. And so as you entered into the autumn time, ask for the veil to be a little thinner, but at the same time practice being aware. Your connection to our world is not difficult to establish. As our medium is fond of saying, he always says this, that we spirit people are gentle people. I'm glad that he has such a high opinion of us, though I wouldn't always say that's true myself. I'm a little brash at times and a little pushy. But the fact is, we only do it out of concern. When a human being loses their connection to our world, they wander in a place of darkness. And if they do not resolve that quandary, that is, the vibration that they have at death will carry over and follow them into the next life. Your earthly life is meant that you will have growth, that you will have joy, that you will have experience. And that experience does not necessarily require you to abandon every single aspect of your spiritual life. A balance is what we seek. It's such a blessing to be here with all of you. Well, we have another person waiting to speak, so I'll be stepping from the body. Greetings. This is Alfred. I bring you blessings from our world. I must say that Rose's words are very true. Since coming here, I have learned that life is meant to be lived fully, not only upon death, but in life. Many people go through their lives living half-lives, as I call them. They do not embrace their humanity in its totality, and their joy is limited. You are not meant to live a mournful life. You are meant to live a joyful life. My mistake in life was that I clouded my joy through false understandings, believing that joy had to come through a mechanical force such as an alcohol or a drug. These things did not bring joy to me, but actually limited my joy. The momentary highs were followed by periods of great sorrow and emptiness. And when weighed in the balance, my journey was much more of the darkness than of the light. Fortunately, I am able now to understand that, and I have obtained peace and liberation here. Rose is very correct when she speaks of the veil thinning. If the veil thins for you, the light of our world will penetrate your mind and consciousness, and it will elevate you. Here in the light there is no greater joy that can be experienced than being in the presence of the divine. It is beyond words to express. But having obtained it, I have release of my soul. Over here I have been able to review the Akashic records. I have seen the history of the human race, from the ancient days of Atlantis into the present time. I have come to discover that the knowledge of Atlantis is returning to the earth. There are many souls upon the earth now who lived in that ancient time. Some of you here tonight carry within you the remembrances. You are part of ancient Atlantis, and you are now back to again facilitate growth upon the earth. It is said that the earth is entering a new age, the age of Aquarius. This is a time when knowledge will expand greatly, and with it technology. The danger is that humans will forget their humanity, and like the Atlanteans, seek power through mechanical means. There is a danger that the earth could destroy itself again, as the Atlanteans did destroy Atlantis, and so jeopardize the entire planet. Those of you who feel that you are connected to Atlantis, remember that you are back. You are back, and within you is all knowledge of those days. Some of you are drawn to crystalline substances. Crystals contain the memory of the time at Atlantis. Some contain the memories of Lemuria as well. Whether the crystals are Lemurian or Atlantean is of no importance. What is important is that your higher self attune to the vibration and the messages of the crystals. I have been shown that there is a time coming upon the earth where the crystals will become rarer and rarer, so much so that the average quartz crystal will be of more value than the diamond. You would do well now, while there is an abundance, to gather your crystals, hold them close, seek out their messages. Understand the past, that you may understand the present, and thus understand the future. Your free will has much power now. Take advantage of this opportunity to be a force to guide the earth towards the light. Even as I speak now, there are forces of darkness upon the earth who would gather to dim the light, to take away the sources of knowledge. There will come in the future those who will destroy crystals so that people will not have access to the knowledge. As humankind's mind expands, so its spiritual awareness and power expands. There unfortunately are those who wish to stop this expansion. Do not let them influence you. Gather your crystals, absorb their vibration, raise your consciousness, and you will have peace and power. Peace and power do not need to be in conflict. They work together if in the right measure, and if channeled through the higher self. The higher self is your true self. It is your spiritual self. It is the self that incarnated into the flesh. While on the earth you are split in sense. Your consciousness is the lower self, which is the material mind, and the higher self is your spiritual mind. You must not exclude one to the other, but they must work together in balance. Through working with crystals, I have been shown that you can achieve a great balance and thus be a perfected channel. Let the light come into you. Be part of the light that will bring balance to the earth. I call forth all the Atlanteans. You know in your hearts who you are and that you are here to do a great work. Do not fail us. Do not fail the earth. Answer the call, and let the higher self emerge. Thank you for receiving me this night. I am most honored to come here and to speak to you. Look always for the light, and if you wish, you may call upon me. You may call me by my name, which is Alfred. Greetings, my dears. This is Rose. Fletcher has told me that our medium's power is growing weak, so I shall be stepping from the body shortly. But I thank you for taking the time to visit with us tonight and allowing us to be here with you. We send you our blessings from the spirit world, and we know that if you look to the light, you will find peace in your lives. I send you my blessings, and I ask for you to always call upon my name. Well, Tubies, I tell you, it's always a great blessing when the spirits channel through me. I felt them come through tonight with an amazing force and power. And it's interesting because when I channel, it uplifts me. I feel like I'm literally going into the heavenly realms. It's very, very transcendental, very mystical experience. But I love to channel, and I hope that the messages they brought through tonight will be of help to all of you. If you enjoy my work as a channel, you might want to check out my book, Messages from Rose. You can pick this up over at my website at robert-hickman.com. While you're there, you'll see at the top my bookstore. I have other books as well. I'm trying to dig them all out here. Here's another one of my books you might enjoy, especially with Halloween coming. Ouija Mysteries, the Spirit Board Seances. So you can get both of these, Messages from Rose and Ouija Mysteries, over at my website at robert-hickman.com. So pop over, check these books out, get them, buy one for a friend. I tell you, they're great gifts. You got Yule and Christmas and Hanukkah. Why don't you pick up some spiritual gifts while you're there? You guys rock. I love you. Listen, keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more coming. By the way, if you haven't done so, pop over to my website and get your free daily horoscopes. That's right. I post horoscopes every day over there. I am an astrologer as well as a psychic and a medium. And so I enjoy studying the planets. So definitely pop over there and get your horoscopes, okay? Anyways, keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more to come tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but it'll be something interesting, I'm sure. And by the way, like this favorite, share it with your friends. And if you haven't done so, hit subscribe. Be part of our channel. Thank you guys for being here. I love you. Happy Saturday night. Blessed be.